Hey y'all, this is Luke Johnson with NOLA.com at Times-Picayune. I'm here with Chris Dabe. We're out here at the Saints facility in Metairie where we spoke to Sean Payton today for the first time since the post-game press conference of the NFC Championship game loss. And basically all we talked about today was the play. That's all Sean Payton really wanted to get into. He actually had some interesting comments about how he's been getting through this. It's pretty much the same way most Saints fans have been getting through it.
Yeah, it's pretty much watching a lot of Netflix. I think you mentioned the Ted Bundy series and that series U, which I haven't seen yet, and then eating a lot of ice cream. So yeah, I think he spent said about 2 or 3 days before he really popped out of his room. At least that's how he put it, and then kind of felt ready to maybe start to try and figure out how to move on from that.
Look, I wish I could have been spending the last several days sitting down and watching Netflix and eating Jenny's ice cream like Sean Payton, but you know, I think there's probably a little bit more to this. You know, he's had some conversations with the league that he didn't really want to get into specifics about, but he talked to Troy Vincent and Roger Goodell. He said he was fine with the call he got from Al Riveron after the game. But you know, moving forward, there's going to be some things for the Saints to do here that Sean said today.
Yeah, and by and large, he does sound like he's sort of processed everything that's happened. He's moving on. He spoke with his players. It feels like the athletes are more conditioned to move on from this, because I think that's in general what athletes do. They're best at, you know, when something negative happens, to move on from it. And as difficult as it may be, and I think for a lot of the public, it's very difficult to understand the idea of moving on from that when the team got so close to the Super Bowl like they did and rightfully feel like they should be playing this Sunday. You really got the sense that he has sort of processed it all and he has moved on. He's trying to figure out what to do next, whether it's anything with his role with the competition committee and also just with assessing his own team and figuring out what they need for next year, because they are still going to be pretty loaded with some good, talented players.
Yeah, and Sean today said his anger lasted all of 24 hours, and he's kind of put it behind him. You know, he addressed some things today from the game. He addressed the decision to pass on first down inside of 2 minutes. I think he still thinks that's the right call, and you know, they were looking to be aggressive. They wanted to score a touchdown there, and they didn't want to leave a minute on the clock for the Rams to kick a field goal with their very good kicker. He didn't want to get into the offseason today. Today, he said, was his league-mandated appearance to discuss last season. So when AP reporter Brett Martell asked him about what's the plan for next year, Sean Payton said, "Oh, we'll get into that later." So today was mostly about the blown call at the end of the NFC Championship game. We'll be hearing a lot about that. Sean Payton said he hasn't really been following it much in the news and all the court filings and demonstrations and boycotts of the Super Bowl. He actually said he will be watching the Super Bowl this week. So we'll keep an eye on it, and you can follow all of our coverage at NOLA.com.